Mafia boss orders in Russian to mock her. The reply shocks everyone. Mafia boss thought the waitress was just another disposable girl in a tight black uniform. He thought speaking Russian would shield his filthy insults from everyone in the room. He thought wrong. One ruthless dawn. One broke college girl who secretly speaks perfect Russian. One sentence that made a whole room of armed men forget how to breathe. This is the exact moment the most feared man in New York got destroyed. By the girl pouring his vodka. Stay until the end, because the comeback is so savage even his own bodyguards couldn't look at him the same way again. Drop a like if you've ever wanted to shut down an arrogant prick in front of everyone. Let's dive in. New York City, 2:17 a.m., late October. The kind of cold that crawls under your skin and stays there. Outside, the streets are slick with rain and neon reflections. Inside Volkov's vault, an underground, members-only Russian supper club hidden beneath a nondescript deli in Brighton Beach. The air is thick with cigarette smoke, cologne, and danger. This isn't a place you find on Yelp. You get invited or you disappear for asking too many questions. At the center table sits Viktor Volkov, 35 years old, head of the Volkov Bratva, a man who has personally put more bodies in the East River than most people have had hot dinners. Tonight he's wearing a midnight blue Brioni suit that costs more than most people's cars, a diamond pinky ring the size of a bullet, and an expression that says he's already bored with being alive. Around him, 6 captains, 2 Albanian enforcers on friendly visit, a famous rapper trying to buy protection, and a table full of Instagram models who know exactly who pays their rent. The vodka is beluga gold. The caviar is fresh. The guns under the jackets are loaded. And then there's her, Arya Ivanov, 24, second-generation Russian-American, broke as hell, working the late shift because her grandmother's chemo isn't going to pay for itself. Black skirt, white blouse, hair in a tight bun, tray balanced perfectly. She moves like smoke, quiet, invisible, forgettable, or so they thought. Victor doesn't even glance at her when she refills his glass. He just snaps his fingers. More. The Albanians laugh at something on one of their phones. The rapper is trying way too hard. One of the captains, Dmitri, drunk and mean, leans over and mutters in Russian, loud enough for the table to hear. Look at this little shliuka pretending she belongs here. Bet she's never even seen a real man. Laughter ripples. Victor smirks, swirls his vodka, and without looking up, switches to rapid, brutal Russian. Translation for those who don't speak Russian. He just called her a cheap whore with stinking hands who probably scrubs dishes in the basement and dreams of getting fucked properly for once. The table explodes in ugly laughter. The models giggle because they know they're supposed to. The rapper looks confused but laughs anyway. The Albanians slap the table so hard glasses rattle. Arya doesn't flinch. She finishes pouring, sets the bottle down perfectly, and starts to walk away. That's when Victor decides he wants one more kick. He locks eyes with her for the first time all night and says in slow, mocking Russian. The table loses it. One guy actually snorts vodka out of his nose. Arya stops, dead center of the room, back straight, tray still balanced on one hand, and then silence falls like a guillotine, because she turns around, slowly, and when she speaks, her Russian is pure St. Petersburg aristocratic. Ice-cold, perfect, the kind of accent that hasn't been heard on these shores since the Tsar fell. She says, voice low enough that only the table hears, but clear enough that it cuts through bone. Though. Beluga. Dead. Silence. Translation. You're so obsessed with my tongue on your suit. Yet your own tongue has been drowning in the shit you call a soul for years. Sad that even all this beluga can't wash the stink of cowardice and pettiness off a man who can buy everything, except respect. Victor's glass stops halfway to his mouth. Dimitri's face goes white. One of the Albanians actually crosses himself. Arya doesn't wait for a reaction. She continues in the same lethal tone. Then she switches to perfect English, loud enough for the entire room. Enjoy your evening, gentlemen. Try not to choke on your own egos. It would be such a waste of good vodka. She walks away, heels clicking like gunshots. The table is frozen. Victor's knuckles are white around his glass. You can actually hear his heartbeat in the silence. And then, the unthinkable happens. Victor smiles. Not the cruel smirk from before. A real, dangerous, delighted smile. He stands up so fast his chair crashes backward. Every bodyguard in the room reaches for a weapon. But Victor just raises his glass toward her retreating figure and says, loud enough for the entire club to hear. Translation. To her, motherfuckers. To the girl who just reminded me I'm still alive. The entire room drinks. Even the Albanians. 2 minutes in, smash that like button if you're already obsessed with Arya. And drop in the comments where you're watching from right now. I'm reading every single one, and I need to know who's riding with us tonight. Now let's keep going, because this story is just getting started. Arya disappears into the back hallway, heart slamming against her ribs, hands shaking so hard she nearly drops the tray. She knows who Viktor Volkov is. Everyone does. Her own uncle used to run numbers for his father before he vanished one winter. She just publicly humiliated the most dangerous man in the 5 boroughs. In front of his entire crew. In Russian, she's dead. She knows it. She's in the staff bathroom splashing water on her face when the door opens. 2 of Victor's soldiers, big guys, necks thicker than her thighs, step in without knocking. Boss wants you. Now. She expects a van, a basement, a body bag. Instead, they walk her straight back to the main table. The music has stopped. Everyone is watching. Victor is standing. He pulls out the chair next to him, the chair that has never, in the history of the club, been offered to anyone who wasn't blood or maid. Sit, he says in English. She doesn't move. He switches to Russian, softer this time. She sits. The entire room is holding its breath. Victor pours her a shot of the Beluga Gold, pushes it toward her. Drink. She stares at him. You just threatened my life in front of 30 witnesses. I changed my mind, he says simply. You have bigger balls than half the men in this room. I want them on my side. The table laughs, nervous, but real. He leans in close enough that only she can hear. You speak Russian like the Romanovs fucked poetry into your bloodline. Where the hell did you learn that? My babushka was a literature professor in Leningrad before she defected. She taught me Pushkin before she taught me English. He actually laughs, low, rough, genuine. Then he gets serious. I have a problem, he says. A package coming in from Odessa next week. Customs manifest is in old Soviet-era legal Russian. My usual translator got carjacked last night. Broken jaw. Can't talk for 6 weeks. He slides a black Amex across the table. I need someone who can read between the lines of bureaucratic Russian bullshit. Someone I can trust not to fuck me over. Someone who just proved she's got ice in her veins. He taps the card. Name your price. Arya looks at the card. Then at him. 50,000. Cash. Upfront. Plus full medical for my grandmother. No questions. Victor doesn't even blink. Done. He turns to Dmitri, the one who started the whole thing. Dmitri, apologize to the lady. Dmitri looks like he's about to shit himself. I'm sorry, Arya. In Russian. Dmitri swallows blood. Victor nods, satisfied. Then he looks back at Arya. One more thing. Next Friday, you sit at my table. As a guest. Wear something red. She stands up. I don't date criminals. He grins, all predator. Who said anything about dating? Fast forward 1 week. The shipment arrives. Arya spends 3 nights in Victor's private office translating 400 pages of forged customs documents. She finds the trap on page 312, buried in a footnote. A single line that would have transferred ownership of the entire shipment to an undercover FBI shell company the second it hit the dock. She saves Victor $28 million. And probably his freedom. That night, he takes her to the rooftop of his penthouse in Dumbo. City lights below them like spilled diamonds. He hands her an envelope. Inside, $500,000 cash and a set of keys. "What's this?" she asks. "Your grandmother's medical debt, paid in full, and the deed to a brownstone in Brooklyn Heights, paid off. Title in your name." She stares at him. "I told you 50. You saved me 28 million. I round up." She looks out at the skyline. "You know this doesn't buy me." He steps closer. "I don't want to buy you. I want to earn you, and I play for keeps." 1 year later, same club, same table. Only now, Arya sits at Victor's right hand, wearing blood-red silk, hair down, diamond choker that cost more than the building. The old crew is still there. Dimitri pours her vodka with 2 hands and calls her Madam. A new waitress, young, nervous, drops a glass near their table. Everyone flinches. Arya stands up, walks over, crouches down, and helps the girl pick up the pieces. "Hey, breathe. First week." The girl nods, terrified. Arya smiles. "You're doing great. Don't let these assholes scare you. Some of the scariest men in the world are sitting over there, and every single one of them is terrified of me." She stands, walks back to the table, and slides into Victor's lap like she owns him. Because she does. Victor raises his glass to the room. "To the woman who brought the devil to his knees, with nothing but words." The entire club drinks. And somewhere in the back, the nervous waitress smiles for the first time all night. Because she just realized, power doesn't always come from a gun. Sometimes it comes from a girl who refused to stay small. Sometimes the quietest voice in the room is the one that changes everything. If the story made your heart race, smash that like button right now. Subscribe and ring the bell because tomorrow's story is even wilder. And tell me in the comments, would you have taken Victor's offer, or would you have walked away? I'll see you beautiful people in the next one. Stay dangerous. Skull.